Welcome to folks to another reading of Mehera-Meher. It's page 263 of volume 3. 3 days before Baba and the women left for Pune, Mani wrote to Arnavaz. October 20, 1962, dear Arnavaz. Beloved Baba sends you his love and wants you to know that he wishes that all the Western women coming by group flights should proceed straight to Pune without seeing any Eastern women in Bombay, because it is Baba's wish that the Western women should first see and meet Baba Mehra and then the rest of his women lovers. Accordingly, Baba wants you to alert all his Eastern women lovers whom you think are likely visitors to the airport or hotels in Bombay. You will all recall that in the previous circulars issued regarding this November gathering, Baba has specifically stressed the point that all Western visitors should book their flights direct to and from Pune. Hence, all Westerners do not expect any one of the Easterners to receive them at the airport on arrival in Bombay. However, Baba has not the least objection if dear Nariman and other Eastern men receive the Westerners, both men and women, on their arrival in Bombay, provided their flight times are known in advance, which no one knows yet. After Mehra has met all the Western women on 31st morning at Guru Prasad, you and other Eastern women are free to meet the Western women at Guru Prasad when they come for the afternoon sessions from 1st November to 4th November. But you all should help the Western women to have one-pointed attention on Baba during the sessions by not involving them in long-drawn conversation. Of course, Baba wants you, Arnavaz, to be in Guru Prasad on 31st October from 9 a.m. when the Western women are called to meet Mehera and the rest of the women at Guru Prasad.
Are you going to read the sideline?
I think we read the top one last week. It refers to the magazines that people
Okay.
sent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Baba is also most particular that 3-B, meaning Diane Dimple Cobb, should see Mehra first at Guru Prasad before she sees any of the Eastern women. Hence, if Nariman were to see her at the airport by chance, then he should tell her that her first duty on arrival in Pune at the Turf Club would be to phone Mehra at Guru Prasad, number 32158, and intimate her of the arrival. She is expected to arrive Bombay with Ivy Deuce Group on 28th and in Pune on 29th October. Hope this is all clear to you, and you will acknowledge the receipt of this letter to Baba by a telegram. With much love, yours lovingly, Mani. 3B, Baba's beloved baby, 19, that's referring to Diane Dimple Cobb, had been 3B had been corresponding with Mehera since 1956, according to Baba's instructions. She continued doing so for more than 30 years. An artist, Diane sent several drawings and paintings of Baba to Mehera. So, with much love, yours lovingly, Mani. Pardon me for the hurried scribbling. The East-West gathering in November 1962 confirmed a phenomenon that the Mandali had witnessed many times before. Prior to giving darshan, Baba's health deteriorated significantly. Bao related. Baba suffered much before the East-West gathering. He experienced abdominal pains, muscle spasms, and fever. His hip pained, and nothing seemed to relieve his misery. On 21 October, Baba cabled his Western lovers. My health is very bad, but your love will help to support me during the days of the East-West gathering. Said Goher, Baba's health always was worse right before giving darshan. Once, when he gave darshan for 18 days at Guru Prasad, it affected his health very much. Baba was so ill, it would frighten us. We thought he would never be able to go through with the darshan. Before the 1962 East-West gathering, Baba got jerks in his legs, similar to those before he dropped his body. In
Yes.
his arms, too, and whole body. I didn't like to give him strong medication. Mehera was very concerned and urged Baba to cancel the darshan programs. So many times it happened. Then he would be completely all right, as if nothing had happened. He looked beautiful, glorious, radiant. People came and didn't believe it when I told them he had been ill recently. Baba and the women arrived in Pune on 23 October. In the spacious kitchen at Guru Prasad was a separate cupboard for spices. Though they never had a refrigerator there, being summer, everything had to be kept cool. Food was therefore stored in a large pinjra, a screened cupboard, which caught the breeze. For the East-West gathering, these pinjra and spice cupboards were removed to clear the way. The partition between the dining and drawing rooms was also removed and placed against the wall, forming one large room. The dining room table was put on the women's side of the veranda, where they now ate. For the East-West gathering, Goher continued, we went ahead of time as we had to empty the kitchen, drawing room, and dining room. The big pantry had to be vacated, as behind that was the pandal, the large canopy. We took everything from the living and dining room on the east veranda. We were so crowded in. All preparations had to be done. The Westerners met Baba in this now expanded room. In the mornings, we massaged Baba. In the afternoons, Bao did it. Even then, Baba remained ill. 2 days before the darshan, suddenly every symptom disappeared. There was nothing. All the spasms disappeared. So the side note referred to the previous program. The paragraph. The division between the dining and drawing rooms had an arch and a partition formed by two sets of sideboards with drawers, cupboards, mirrors, and intricate wood carving at the top. During darshan times, the sideboards were swung back against the drawing room wall. So, 2 days before the darshan, suddenly every symptom disappeared. There was nothing. All the spasms disappeared. Baba's strange symptoms and poor health were, no doubt, a result of his internal working to ameliorate the sanskaras of his close followers.
Mhm.
But perhaps It was also related to the world at large. While Baba was working intensely to bring the East and West together, mutual annihilation between East and West seemed a real possibility that October as the Cuban Missile Crisis unfolded between the United States and the Soviet Union. It was touch and go, Baba commented. The whole world hung in the balance. While that crisis played out in the West, war actually erupted in the East when China invaded India. The Chinese ended their invasion within a month. Baba's gesture for the Chinese was to press his nose flat. The actual darshan function began on 1 November, but Baba called the Westerners to Guru Prasad a day before this. It had been 10 years since Mehera and the other women had seen Kitty, Elizabeth, Margaret, Delia, Ella, Phyllis, and Adele. For many, such as Billy Eaton and Jane Haynes, it was their first brief meeting with Mehera. Delia noted certain changes. Before, in the early days, one had to be careful when talking with Mehera, not to mention this or that. Afterwards, in later years, such as in 1962, one could speak more freely. One close lover who was unable to attend the East-West gathering was Irene Billow. Mehera was looking forward to seeing her again and felt very bad that Irene had not come. However, Baba sent Irene this cable on 30 October. While your love is with me here, I am with you there. Groups of Western women arrived at Guru Prasad at 9:30 a.m. on 31 October to meet Baba and the women Mandali. Jean Shaw was among them. I was vibrating from all the love from Baba and the dear ladies. I was so happy I could hardly keep the tears from flowing. Other groups of women arrived and each one was embraced. The room was full, all mingling, chatting, hugging, and so on. Since quite a few of the women didn't know the ladies of Baba's ashram, the ladies moved among them and introduced themselves, embracing each one. It was really one of, if not the, happiest day of my life. There was such joy. The very air was vibrating with it, and I felt myself vibrating with the waves of love. I felt warm, tearful, and joyful. As stated, the first day of darshan was 1 November. Mehera described the darshan. Baba got up early in those days, so we had to get up earlier and have our breakfast first. Before we could complete it, Baba rang the bell. I still had bread and butter in my mouth. I quickly washed my hands and chewed quickly, trying to swallow it. We ran to Baba, helping him get dressed, wash his face, and come to the dining room. No massaging that day. Neither did we clip Baba's toenails on the morning of the East-West gathering, but did so later, after people had bowed down. Everything had to be done quickly. We did things fast, had our breakfast on the run. Mehera was interested to see the 100 Westerners taking darshan. I was always near the bathroom window. a large bay window with curtains on it. She continued. From here I could see when the gates were open at last and all tumbled inside. People were shoving and pushing for Darshan, the Mandali shouting at them to stop. My, I thought, I'm glad I'm not there. Baba very quickly put his hand on their shoulders, patted their head, the Mandali hurrying people along. During the program, Adi Sr. came on the stage and whispered something into Baba's ear. Baba turned to listen. After seeing this happen several times, Mehera sent a message out that Baba should stand in front of Baba. Mehera sent a message out that Adi should stand in front of Baba, even though he would be blocking the audience, so that Baba's neck would not have to turn, so that Baba would not have to strain his neck. Adi was trying to avoid blocking Baba from the audience, but Mehera's only concern, as always, was Baba's comfort. Besides watching the program from the bathroom and the pantry windows, 3 or 4 chairs for Mehera and the women were positioned in the doorway at Guru Prasad. Here they sat behind one another for much of the program and watched Baba give darshan to his lovers. And the side note says women and children sat on one side of the pandal and men on the other side, so the men could not see the women mandali. Baba didn't have to go down the stairs, Mehera continued. From his room, he could walk out onto the stage, wearing a lovely rose garland, everyone saying Baba's Jai. We saw how radiantly he looked, giving of himself. Right, Sadra.
Okay. So, Baba and with his white sadra, the garland of roses, and his fair skin, he looked very beautiful, and his love was very beautiful for each one. Someone brought a garland of fresh cardamom. Naja was so eager to use it in the kitchen. Mani teased that she is meditating on the cardamom instead of Baba. One thing that tickled Mera as she watched was that on one side of Baba was Yogi Shuddhanand, Bhavati, an itinerant sannyasi monk, and on the other side was Rani of Baroda, a wealthy queen with palaces, and in the middle was Mera Baba, a spiritual master. All day long, Baba gave darshan, Goher said, and he really didn't eat much in those days. Meru took grapes and extracted the juice. In that, I added protein powder and put it behind his darshan chair. Whenever he asked for water to drink, Eruch quickly handed him the juice. Baba was very run down in health, but the darshanites didn't notice it. Something that everyone in attendance did notice occurred during the afternoon session on 1st November, when there was a sudden downpour. Many of the Westerners were soaked. Baba told the Western women to go inside and change into something dry from the women mandali. The rains were totally unexpected, money related. The Westerners got drenched. It only lasted for a short while, but they were very heavy showers. It came from nowhere. It didn't last long, but leaked through the roof of the pandal. And on the side note, as Mera did with everything prepared for Baba, she tasted the juice before it was sent to him. to make sure it was sweet and not sour. Interesting. I didn't know she tasted the food. So all were sent inside where we were. We had opened one of the Rani's cupboards through the caretaker, and by coincidence found lots of towels. These were distributed, and the women dried their hair. The Westerners wanted to wipe their legs and heads, so the women Mandali handed them the Rani's fine towels and linen napkins. But when they started to wipe their shoes with them, it was too much. Shoes are considered especially unclean in India, and Mehera was not pleased. The women opened their trunks and took out all their clothes, placing some in Mehera's and Mani's room on Mehera's bed, and more in the second bedroom. They told the Westerners to take for themselves what fit. We just happened to bring a lot of clothes, said Rano, and they came in handy. Mani said the same. For some reason, we had taken far more clothes than we would have needed when we came from Merazad. So we were able to bring out all these extra dresses, extra petticoats, extra saris. It was marvelous sight, like a bazaar scene, with each choosing what they wanted. The sizes were difficult. One lady from New York, Zaroni Bajejayan, no, no blouse would fit her. She wrapped herself in a sari so elegantly, without a blouse underneath. She looked so regal, like royalty. Beatrice Shaw took a lovely dress made out of a sari. Mehera told her to keep it, and she wore it with slacks. 3B also. Kitty changed into a dress of Mehera's of fine blue material. Though it was tight in a few places, Billy Eaton was given one that was too big for her. Ivy Deuce was too large to get into anyone's clothes. Meru had given sleeveless jacket to an oh Baba, oh Baba. Close, I'm losing myself. Oh Baba. Zoom. No, touch. No. Okay, I got back. So it disappeared. So sorry. Okay, so Mani said the same. For some reason, we had taken far more clothes than we would have needed when we came from Merazad. So we were able to bring out all these extra dresses, extra petticoats, extra saris. It was marvelous sight, like a bazaar scene with each choosing what they wanted. The sizes were difficult. One lady from New York, Zaroni Bajejian, no blouse would fit her. She wrapped herself in a sari so elegantly, without a blouse underneath. She looked so regal, like royalty. Beatrice Shaw took a lovely dress made out of a sari. Mehera told her to keep it, and she wore it with slacks. 3B also. Kitty changed into a dress of Mehera of fine blue material, though it was tight in a few places. And Billy Eaton was given one that was too big for her. Ivy Deuce was too large to get into anyone's clothes. Meru had given a sleeveless jacket for Anita, but then realized being loose it might do for Ivy. It was too tight for Ivy, so Anita was only too happy to get it back. Baba was waiting outside, so all were in a hurry. What a commotion it was! The Westerners had come to Guru Prasad, dressed in their finest, looking quite chic, but the playful avatar of the age made them remove their Western garb for an Eastern ensemble. The women Mandali dried and ironed the Westerners' clothes and then sent the clothes to their hotels. Like Ivy, Elizabeth was too plump for any of the Easterners' clothes. None of their dresses, blouses, or skirts fit her. Mera brought a yellow dressing gown with red roses that was loose, but when Elizabeth started to put it on, the sleeves became stuck, and she said she had to take it off. No clothes we could give Elizabeth for comfort. No, no clothes we could give Elizabeth felt comfortable, said Manny, and she wouldn't wear sari. Rano then remembered an old silk dressing gown, darned in places which Elizabeth had given her when she left India. Rano had kept it, and for some reason had taken it to Pune. I'm sure I won't need it, she said to herself at Marazad before leaving. Anyway, I'll take it. Who knows? It was mauve and had a dark brown stripe. Very elegant, Manny noticed facetiously. Facetiously? Fortunately,
Facetiously. Mhm.
how?
Facetiously.
Facetiously, okay. Fortunately, it still fit. Although Elizabeth had discarded the gown 15 years earlier, it now came back to her. Elizabeth pinned her east-west gathering badge to the dressing gown and returned to the pandal. After a few minutes, Baba called her on stage and introduced her to Yogi Bharati. Elizabeth climbed the steps in the dressing gown, looking like Queen Mother, Mani recalled. This is Mrs. Elizabeth Patterson, the head of the Meher Center in Myrtle Beach, Baba announced. Bharati looked at her with an odd expression. Perhaps Elizabeth later speculated humorously, thinking that as the head of such a prominent center in America, she had renounced good clothes and was required to wear such attire. When I was wearing nice clothes, Baba didn't introduce me, Elizabeth noted wryly. But Mani thought otherwise. She reasoned that Shuddhananda Bharati must be impressed. He was charmed, as this was how he had visualized Elizabeth, like a sadhu in a spiritual robe, sort of a uniform, something different from the ordinary Western dresses for one who was the head of the Myrtle Beach Center. Elizabeth fitted the Swami's mental picture of Baba's chief worker in America, and he probably thought it was her ceremonial gown. She looked like a queen. It was so funny. The yogi standing up in his ochre robes and Elizabeth in her dressing gown. Baba bowing to each other, both bowing to each other, and Baba sitting in between. How he arranged it, it was just like Baba. The Westerners met Baba for the last time on 5th November. After Baba went to his room, Bernice Ivory told Goher that she would like to see Mera privately. Bernice came inside. Mani saw her and scolded. You should go now, that you've said goodbye to Baba. Mera came and told Bernice that she had given things for her children to her sister Beryl Williams. Baba, Mera, and the others returned to Merazad on Saturday, 10 November. So shall I read the side note? Virginia Rudd had not had a chance to greet Mera on this trip, and she was also called inside to say goodbye. I was totally unprepared, she related. I felt the same thing I felt when I met Baba initially. I went out. I was on the floor, on my face. Someone helped her up, and Mera took off her sari pin and gave her. Wow, that's a strong one.
I guess went out means she fainted. Hmm?
Either she fainted or she got so overwhelmed, she got
Mm.
so overwhelmed that and she maybe, yeah, maybe she bow down to her or something, because they picked her up from the floor. So either.
Mm.
So we see Baba and Mehera in the Mehera's garden. The picture taken by Joseph Harp. And all the marigolds, big, tall marigolds that Mehera planted for Baba's garlands, because Baba liked the marigolds. It was taken in 1960 by Joseph Harp. So another picture of Mehera and Baba and Mastan. Yeah, beautiful picture. Mehera and Baba and Mastan. Beautiful. In the garden, in the Mehera's garden.
Looks like hollyhocks in the background behind Baba.
That's what they're called.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Another picture of Mehera and Baba and Guru Prasad, and with the cat, with Geisha, the cat.
Pegu.
Pegu, yeah. They had also a cat named Geisha. Another photo of Mehera and Mastan and Baba in Mehera's garden. No, with Pegu, Guru Prasad. How come Guru Prasad? No,
No, that
Mehera's.
means
Yeah,
the picture before. Yeah.
Pegu, yeah. So all in 63. So that was 1 year after the East-West. So we're getting to chapter 133, a favorite cat and dog. That is why we saw those pictures of Mastan and Pegu. So whenever Baba and the women returned from Guru Prasad, all felt a sense of relief. Back at Merazad, Mani explained, for the first time we felt, now we can be with Baba alone. They had to share him with so many. When the darshans were over, Baba was once again our Baba in the household, so we could wipe his brow and change his sadra. He asked Naja what was for lunch, said something to Mera, asked me what books were on hand to read. We were so relaxed to have Baba with us as one of the family. When darshans were all over, we were glad. now that we now that will last for some time. We can have Baba to ourselves again. Baba again putting his gray coat on white one. No, Baba again putting on his gray coat or white one, which was a little frayed at the sleeves, not the pink one. He didn't want to wear the new ones. After the East-West gathering, Baba announced that he wished to be free to carry out his universal work from 10 December 1962 because of this. Mera's 55th birthday was celebrated 2 weeks early on the 9th. More than 100 lovers attended the program at Merazad. Mera loves me very much, Baba told the gathering, as I also love her, but I have not yet explained to her what the path is. She doesn't know anything about spirituality, but she knows that he loves her. That's most important. So, do I read the side note now or later? No, later. As Mani had written to Adi Sr., Baba enjoyed listening to records of Begum Akhtar, a famous ghazal singer who had been scheduled to sing before him at Guru Prasad the previous year, but who had been unable to come because of illness. Unexpectedly, Begum Akhtar arrived at Merazad on Sunday, 13 January 1963, and wept before Baba. It was her first meeting with the beloved, and he permitted her to sing a few songs. So Begum Akhtar sang again for Baba at Guru Prasad that May, and at Mehera-Meher a few years later. Like Paul Robeson, another singer, Baba enjoyed. Begum Akhtar did not have an easy life. Despite her fame and popularity, at the end of her life, Akhtar was drinking heavily out of extreme depression and had become a chain smoker, and she died in 1974. Sad. For years, Baba had liked Begum Akhtar's voice, money related. The ghazals she sang were heart-rending. Then to find that she loves Baba and becomes a Baba lover, we were so pleased. She had even composed a song for him. As she sang, tears ran down her cheeks. Baba took a handkerchief from the table next to him and told her to wipe her tears, and then said she could keep the kerchief. Begum Akhtar once told one of her pupils, "A ghazal is like a painting. The poetic content is the work of art. You, the musician, and your music are but the frame around it." Interesting. According to his wish, Baba's birthday was not celebrated in 1963. Baba was in seclusion, but his Ahmednagar lovers were allowed to visit. The Maharani of Baroda also visited on 3 February. A few weeks later, Baba and those at Mehera-Meher watched two films taken by his brother Behram at Guru Prasad the past summer and during the East-West gathering. So, on a side note, previously, Baba had seen the 1937 Nasik birthday film and other films taken of him in America. On Sunday, 24th March, Baba was driven with the women to Guru Prasad. Darshan that year was again available on Sunday, starting from 14 April. Some of the Bombay group, however, arrived at the beginning of April and Baba met them. The Bombay women were permitted to visit Mehra, and a few times Baba took Mehra and other women to Bindra House and Baba's house. Sushila was permitted to spend the day at Guru Prasad also. So there has to be okay, we'll find it. Here it is. Baba also made, this is asterisk, Baba also made many house visits that year. During one visit to a lover's home, despite Baba's injured hip, the lover requested Baba to climb up to his first floor apartment. Baba agreed, but when he was returning in the car to Guru Prasad, he experienced a severe shooting pain in his hip joint, which had been aggravated by the climb. At Guru Prasad, the pain was so bad he could not even step out of the car and had to be lifted into a chair and carried inside. Meanwhile, without knowing Baba's condition, Mehra had suddenly come down with a high fever. Dr. Barucha had accompanied Baba and was informed of Mehra's condition. He later reflected, "Real love does not ask anything of the beloved, but wants to take on the suffering of the beloved." Mehra got high temperature just because Baba was suffering, although she did not know anything about it. That is how Mehra's love differed from our love. Her love for Baba is indeed unique. There's a similar story of Radha taking pain from Krishna when he was a king in the palace, and she became sick with his sickness. So, yeah, so we read that. So Sushila was permitted to spend the day at Guru Prasad also. Baba ate lunch with the women mandali even on the days when darshanites had come. But he asked for something liquid and soft, which could be consumed quickly, some fruit, pieces of papaya or mashed banana mixed with a nutritious protein supplement, and thin cream. After lunch, he returned to the hall before everyone had reassembled, though he had told his lovers that he would not come until later. Most had already left to have lunch at Bund Gardens or their hotels. The first day they returned half an hour early and found Baba already present in the hall. After Baba did this 2 or 3 times, people did not leave at all. They sat in the hall, waiting for him, which is what he wished. Baba had a clever way of ending the darshan programs. After darshan, Mani narrated, when it was time to leave and Baba wanted all to disperse, Baba would speak about obedience. You could feel everybody sitting up straighter, ready to do anything for Baba. He had only to tell them to jump down from the top of the mountain, and they were all ready. You could see that build up in the whole atmosphere. When that was complete, Baba said, now, I want you to leave this place. I want Guru Prasad empty in 3 minutes flat. Everyone knew they were tricked. There would be moaning and groaning and laughing. Each one wanted to be the last to leave. About the programs in Guru Prasad, Mani continued. To see Baba with different people, with a child, an old person, a so-called philosopher, an educated person, a farmer, Baba would be on that level so totally and completely without any ostentation. So naturally could he become part of that the person who was meeting him when he left with a feeling that here was one true friend. During Guru Prasad Darshans, each one felt that they had received something special, a smile or a look, something that was special, individual for each one, no matter how many there were, even when there were hundreds present. At Guru Prasad during the darshan, the hall would seem bigger, as if filled with a multitude, not just of a crowd, but with his lovers, each one joyous as they had come for his darshan. Baba seated at the further side of the hall in a white sadra, silent. Every eye would go to that point from which all the celebration emanated. Baba made each one feel that he had given him or her something special. It was like an ocean had come alive. For not only was the hall full, but the road way down to the gate.
Okay, we're rolling, Rosalie. Go ahead and from Alu Kambata.
Alu Kumbata and her cousin Tamina Umragar were among those staying in Pune. In the evenings, they went for a stroll with umbrellas on the road fronting Guru Prasad. Baba saw them from the veranda where he was sitting with the women. Mehera pointed them out. Later, said Alu, we felt so happy when Mani told us Baba had seen us. One day, however, Alu and Chamina had left their hotel for shopping when Baba called them. They missed their chance. From then on, they stuck close to the hotel, waiting for his call. Baba once gave Alu the order not to wear glasses. She was able to read without them, but had trouble recognizing faces. When she came to Guru Prasad, Baba held up one or two fingers and asked how many there were. "Can you see to the gate?" he asked. She replied, "I can't even see your face, but your clothes I can recognize that it is you in your chair." "You don't see my face?" Baba inquired. Alu said no. After 2 or 3 years, Mehera intervened on her behalf and requested Baba, "Please give Alu the order to wear glasses again. She is really in trouble not being able to see far." And Baba rescinded the order. Once, when the scheduled singer had not yet come, Baba told Alu to sing. She protested nervously that she did not have a good voice, but Baba said to sing anyway. "What song shall I sing?" she wondered. A few years before, on hearing a particularly touching song, Alu had thought, "Oh God, if I had a voice, I would have sung that song to Baba." She remembered the song and sung it with a high-pitched voice. "With my eyelashes, I will sweep your floor," was one memorable line from it. After just half a line, Baba said, "Enough. All the crows have flown away. The audience is growing sleepy." To those in the audience, it appeared as if Baba were poking fun at Alu. They knew that Baba liked doctors and especially enjoyed teasing Alu, who was a physician. But in fact, Baba was fulfilling Alu's heartfelt desire to sing that song to him. Films were another source of entertainment for the women Mandali during their stays at Guru Prasad. Some of the films Mehera and the other women saw in Pune in the 1960s without Baba included Little Woman with June Allison, Camille with Greta Garbo, Quo Vadis with Robert Taylor and Deborah Kerr, Friendly Persuasion starring Gary Cooper, and Ivanhoe. On 2 occasions, Baba took the men to see films by the British comedian Norman Wisdom. The Square Peg and The Early Bird, and then told the women to see them. As usual, Baba's meals were being prepared at Bindra House. The women and Mandali now had to make do with lesser fare from the Edward Hotel, run by Jal Dorabji. Jal was often hired to cater local Zoroastrian weddings and Navjot celebrations. Every time Jal had an order to provide a wedding meal or Navjot feast, Nehru said he would send a full serving of everything to Guru Prasad. It so often arrived just before Baba rang the bell in the evening, after he had rested, and he might ask for a little something to eat. He would bring it over to him. We would bring it over to him. We always felt how fortunate those people were who unknowingly had sent food over and Baba had partaken of it, even if it were the minutest amount. And of course, for Baba, no, and of course, Jal Dorabji was so fortunate to do so. When the food did arrive in time for Baba, Baba would tell Mehera to enjoy a particular dish she liked, and all of us shared the rest amongst us. But if Baba had eaten just a little, we always kept what he liked in case he asked for it again. Once, along with the Mandali's food, Jal sent a special tiffin of a wedding meal for Baba. It was 4:30 or so, Mehera recalled. Baba had finished his rice and dal. This other food came, so we brought it to him. Everything was taken on a tray in a bowl, a bit of fish and a bit of chicken, and bits of chicken. We put it in front of Baba. It was sent with so much love for you, I said. Baba tasted a bit of it. Although the bride and groom did not know of Baba, unknowingly they were blessed by Meher Baba tasting their wedding dinner. That day, Baba did not eat everything sent, as he had already eaten. You like chicken, don't you? He asked Mehera. When she replied that she did, Baba said, then you eat this. Others are also there, Baba, she reminded him. Baba said, the others can have a little too, but you take more. Baba was so sweet. He told me to eat it, as he knew we were not free to have chicken. We had it only once a year or so. Now, where am I?
I don't think you read the sidebar. I went
Okay.
up to the sidebar, yeah.
Charles Orochi was an old friend, old school friend of Pendu and Adi Sr. Later, during night watch, Baba remarked to Bao, Mehera loves chicken, but I don't allow her to eat it. One day, a cute billy goat was outside Guru Prasad. The moment you placed your hand out, palm facing towards it, Nehru remembered it would raise its forelegs, come forward, and playfully butt your hand. The women thought of taking it to Baba's room, so they coaxed it up the back veranda by showing it some green vegetables. They brought the goat inside through the drawing room. Slowly, they opened the door to Baba's room, where he was talking with the Mandali, and pushed the goat inside. They pushed the goat inside. Baba was so surprised. He saw that the goat was very tame and said, bring something for it to eat. Baba loved to feed animals, Mehera noted, and he fed the goat vegetables inside the house. Early one morning, they had another furry visitor, a male Siamese cat named Pegu, wandered into Guru Prasad. It belonged to a Parsi woman who lived a short distance away on the other side of the road. She had come to Pune for the summer from Bombay, along with her cat and a black retriever. After arriving, however, the cat sought another place. Many houses were on the road all in a row, but curiously, the cat came only to Guru Prasad and did not leave. It did not like to stay in its owner's room for some reason, even though she was offering it good food. After a few days, the Parsi woman sent her 18-year-old son to locate Pegu. From the servants, the son learned where it had gone. Baidu was keeping watch that day by the gate and asked Baba whether he would permit the boy inside. Baba allowed him in and told Goher to bring Pegu. The women caught the cat, and one of them opened the door and slipped it inside, where Baba was seated. The cat meowed, but did not go to its owner. It went straight to Baba's feet. The boy took Pegu outside, but on the driveway, before he even reached the gate, the cat jumped out of his arms and ran back to Guru Prasad. The boy's mother came next and met Baba and the ladies. She was a stylish woman, Mehera recalled, but devout. She used to go to some Swami. She asked Baba if she could sing for him, as she knew how to play the harmonium. She sang some devotional songs during a few darshan times. So the cat brought her and her son to Baba.
I love that.
Baba's stay in Pune became stressful, however, when he had a severe attack of renal colic and painfully tossed a stone. He was taken to the hospital and tests performed. It was discovered that his blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol count were each high. His neck was also bothering him. A nerve in his spine was being pinched. To relieve it, the previous year, Dr. Gindi had fashioned a metal collar, which Baba was advised to wear. It was uncomfortable, and after 3 months, a softer one was made. The collar was very stiff, said Goher. Baba was not able to turn his head or open his mouth. He took it off only to eat. It was great suffering. Once each of us women tried it on. We couldn't stand to have it on for 5 minutes. How much more Baba suffered to wear it all day long. Baba would have to wear this collar on and off for the rest of his life. At the beginning of June, Pope John died in the Vatican, and a few weeks later, Pope Paul was elected. Goher heard the news on the radio and rushed to tell Baba. Flustered, she declared, "Baba, Paul is the new pope." "Who?" Baba asked, looking puzzled. "Paul Pop." Goher said, trying to correct herself. Goher's mistake was a source of great amusement and the cause of much ribbing for her. When all returned to Merazad on 30th June, Baba got down from the car, which had been driven near the house. Holding Mera's hand, he climbed the steps to the veranda. The maid, Sev, brought a ceremonial coconut on a tray in the Parsi manner, according to Kaka's instructions, and 2 garlands. Sev waved the coconut gently round Baba's head and broke it on the floor at his feet. Then she garlanded Baba and Mera. The sidebar says, once Baba even took off his own garland and put it around Mera. But Mehera had asked the first time this had been done, but why me? When he put the garland on her. Leave it on, Baba said. This traditional garlanding of Baba and Mehera was repeated each year when they arrived from Pune. Still holding Mehera's hand, Baba went inside. Mehera took off the garland and placed it on a chair. Baba sat in the living room in the first chair facing the door. Mehera removed his garland. Baba said that he was not thirsty. He had had some water in the car and also a bite to eat along the way. Bring Mustan quickly, Baba gestured. Mustan and Peter were never taken to Guru Prasad. They remained at Mehera, where Mustan was kept tied up behind the house. Baba did not want him going to the village and mixing with the other dogs there. He might be bitten. So he was always kept on a leash when freed. The sidebar says, Baba's sign for Mustan was to place his hand low to the ground. Mani's sign was the same, but a bit higher, and Mehera's was higher still, as she was older than Mani. So they brought Mustan. Let's see. Mehera went to the back. Mustan jumped up, joyous to see her after 3 months. Go to Baba, Mustan, she repeated as she let him go. He ran so fast to Baba and happily stood near him, wagging his tail. Baba cuddled him. Meanwhile, the women were bringing in the small bags and luggage. Mustan ran around, greeting each one, then again to Baba to be petted. Bring him something nice to eat, Baba said. Mehera brought a bowl of bread and milk. Baba fed him bits of meat also. Then Baba said, take him outside and let him finish there. Mustan ate from Baba's hand every day. Mustan loved Baba very dearly, Mehera observed, and Baba loved Mustan too. For several years when he was a puppy, Baba fed Mustan on his bed in the afternoons. Mehera was told to bring him, so she untied him and said, go on, Mustan, go to Baba. Mustan ran into Baba's bedroom and sat before him. Rano had doubled a piece of old sheet and spread it over the end of Baba's bed. But Mustan would not jump on the bed until Baba patted it. Mustan jumped on the bed and sat looking happily at Baba and then looking at us. Mehera continued, as if to say, look where I'm sitting. Baba told us to bring the food quickly. He took Mustan's plate and gave him all the meat with his own hands. After Mustan had it, Baba snapped his fingers for him to get down. Down, Mustan, I said. He wagged a little bit at Baba to say thank you and then came out of the room. Baba instructed Mehera to feed Mustan the leftover food outside. Baba, you gave him the nice meat bits, she said. Now he won't eat outside. So she mixed it with gravy from the meat and fed that to him. Because Mustan was kept tied, Alaba was ordered to take him for a long walk each day. Baba would ask Alaba how long he had walked with Mustan, usually an hour or an hour and a half. One day when Alaba was taking Mustan for a walk behind Mehera, he came across a huge lizard, 4 feet long. It was quite docile. He caught it and brought it to show Baba, who became upset. Why did you catch it? Put it back where you found it. However, before Alaba did so, Baba called the women to see it in the passageway of the house. Mehera was given responsibility for training Mastan not to attack anything, as he was similar to Budi in that regard. It was a difficult job for me, she confessed, and related this incident. A village toilet sweeper came to clean our compound. She was new. Baba had just come for lunch and was sitting at the table with us. Though we hadn't yet started, Meru thought of taking Mastan to the back veranda, where he was to be tied. She brought him to the house. He could see the new woman and lurched forward. Meru had to let him go. He went straight for the women, knocked her down, and climbed on top of her. I and all ran just in time to save her. The garden boys brought Mastan from the fields where he had run. Mehera scolded him, and Baba was very upset with him. Mehera gave him 2 whacks, put him in the bathroom, and shut the door. Don't shut him up for long, Baba said. Let me train him, Mehera insisted. All right, but after 5 minutes, set him free. Mehera then let him out. A bit ashamed of himself, Mastan came out with his tail between his legs. Naughty Mastan, Mehera scolded, never do it again. And he never did attack anyone again. She had succeeded in breaking his habit. Mehera taught Mastan a few tricks also. I taught him to kiss Baba. Mastan would put his long nose just 1/4 of an inch from Baba. So sweet. When I said, kiss Baba, Mastan, kiss Baba, Baba would kiss him near his bed and also near the dining table. Every time Mastan had to kiss Baba first, and then he got his food. Although Mastan never attacked anyone, he barked ferociously if he encountered any stranger, and the villagers were terrified by his size alone. One morning, Mehera took Mastan on a leash for a walk in the adjoining field. A teenage village boy was grazing his cattle some distance away. Mastan started barking and broke free of the leash. Frightened, the youth picked up a rock and threw it towards Mastan. Mehera had run for Mastan, and the rock barely missed her. Meanwhile, hearing the disturbance, Meru and their gardener came running. Mastan was caught and taken back. The youth was brought before Baba, who was in the hall. After the incident was narrated, Baba chastised the young man. Have you any idea what you did? He asked. You flung a stone towards this lady, Mehera, whom all the world will worship someday. Though Mastan was kept tied outside, in the afternoons he slept inside the big house. Mastan used to run in such a way that he would come in Baba's way, Mehera said. When he was sleeping on the veranda, too, at times he would be in Baba's way. Baba was seated on the sedan chair on the veranda. We came to help him out of it. Mustan was sleeping in the way. Baba said, "Let him sleep." Baba could hardly walk, but he went around Mustan so that he wouldn't be disturbed. According to Mehera, of all the pets they ever kept, Baba loved Mustan the most. Baba loved Mustan best, she concluded. Baba loved him more than I loved him. Once, referring to Mustan, Baba remarked, "When Mustan dies, I will see that he is born directly into a human form. I will see he gets a man form. That too, not just an ordinary human being, but a very good one, a good man who loves God. He will have an excellent birth." Wow. There's Pegu and Mehera, yeah.
That was so cute. Peg who brought brought that the woman and her son to Baba and to become
Yeah. Yeah. Well, cats are pretty smart
yeah.
sometimes. There she is at Guru Prasad. When I went to India, it was just one room. They had already torn it down.
Ah,
There's Mustan with Mehera.
yeah, he's about the size of Mara, looks like.
He is big, and but Mehera dealt with horses too. So,
That's
yeah,
true.
she was.
With
Uh,
half ton creatures.
yeah, he's beautiful. Look at how shiny. Wow, he's fed so well.
Whoops.
Wow, wow, that's sweet. I tell you that last Mehera-Meher Volume 3 was suffer, suffer, suffer. I mean, Mehera's
Oh,
Mehera's birthday.
so so that's the Rani of Baroda on Baba's right,
Yeah, yeah,
our left.
yeah. Well, they match, don't they? They all have the same tone on you.
Yeah, they all like pink.
Yeah, look at that. Wow. I have to say, that wearing saris, it's such a graceful style. It's so beautiful. It's really timeless
Mm,
as far as beauty goes. It's a
very, very, very elegant. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
and
excuse me, for chapter 134, we'll wait till next week. And